What's up? We are live. I'm your host Ajay Menon of AM Talk Sport, and I have Vinay Menon with me, who is in no way, no, he is related to me. He is a Chelsea fan, and we watched the City Chelsea game yesterday in the FA Cup, in the semi-finals. And as usual, yeah, matlab, very poor display from Chelsea, but we'll get to all of that. City going through into the final, knocking Chelsea out by a goal to nil. What are your initial thoughts, brother?
Not at all surprised, to be very honest.
Yeah,
This is exactly what we have been seeing all season, so I'm not at all surprised by what we saw yesterday.
yeah.
And
In a
for
way, in a way, in a way, City looked very tired, didn't they? Because of they had a Champions League game midweek.
yeah, yeah, they did. Even if you hear what Pep said after the game, he was shocked that after playing so poorly, they went through. So it just shows how bad we were. Like in terms of the chances and everything. It was just another day being a Chelsea fan and looking at this crap which we've been looking all year. So
Yeah, man.
what
I
can we
mean,
say?
this has been a season for y'all that has been very mediocre. Obviously, the
Yeah,
Todd Bowley takeover and things have gone. I would not say downhill, but definitely, yeah, in a way, there is a big underachievement. But now
yeah,
with Pochettino on board, this season at least you were expected to make strides towards the top half. But वो अभी तक
yeah,
हुआ नहीं है. And
yeah. We are too
कल
much in love with our 10th place.
I know
We can't get over
I
10th. That's our
Rohit is
place.
Rohit has joined us. Hello, man. So तो
Hi,
ये है
hi,
कि
Rohit.
मतलब एक एफए कप बिलियन बॉटल जॉब्स बट ये एक एफए कप था जो एक देयर वाज अ probably one competition where Chelsea could have got into the final and City were tired from that midweek and yet Chelsea
Yeah,
literally could not finish their chances and I'm going to come directly
yeah.
to the point, the elephant in the room. What the fuck is wrong with Jackson Martinez? मतलब इतना बेंचो इतना कैसे चांस मिस करते हो?
First of all, he's Nicholas Jackson. Jackson Martinez was the
Nicholas, अरे
Colombian
fuck,
striker.
Jackson Martinez तो एटलेटिको का स्ट्राइकर है. Sorry, my bad.
Yeah, and he was a much better finisher, so you can't compare him to Nicholas Jackson.
Sorry,
So
my
I
bad.
read I read this piece, that Nicholas Jackson was being compared to to Neymar because of his hairstyle, and it just shows how much Delulu is there among the Chelsea fans, especially the new ones. They actually don't look at the whole game. They just look at the clips, and they feel, oh, what a player, But if you see the game, you realize that it's not like, if you can't finish basic chances, you're not a striker. And if you're not a striker, then you have no place playing as a striker for a club as big as Chelsea, and this is something which we had discussed at the start of the season. We spent £1 billion, and out of that, only 22 million went on a striker. And we have not
Wow.
had a good striker since Diego Costa. So it's been actually 4 years since we have had a good striker, and there were so many good strikers available in the market. Like what about Osimhen for 100 million? He would have easily come for 100, 125. Harry Kane was available, and I'm
Yeah,
sure with the right kind of money, Daniel Levy would have let him go. And he wanted
correct.
to come also. So it would have been a sensational transfer, but we needed a proper striker, and we took Nicholas Jackson, who has had legit 10 good games for Villarreal. He legit had 10 good games. And you picked him on that basis that he had 10 good games in which he was a substitute in half of them. And he scored from the bench. And you thought, oh, this is such a good striker. Before he becomes a big striker, let's buy him. But then this is not the right attitude. This is where I feel Todd Bowley has gone wrong because you cannot buy players who are learning the game to come and play first team football. Like we went from a club where Salah was on the bench because he was not good enough. People see
Mm.
today's Salah, but that time Salah legit, and as a Roma fan, you've seen he used to miss every chance. He
Yeah,
used
he
to
was very
just keep on shooting.
correct, correct. That's
Yes,
true.
so you
That's
can't
true.
allow that while you want to win titles, reach the top four, you cannot allow that kind of talent that time. Give
Mm.
them on loan once they're refined, let them come back. That makes sense. But that is our best time. We gave Broja on loan. He was the second striker. He went to Fulham on loan. So we have one striker in the whole squad.
क्या
One
बात कर रहे
striker. Yeah, there's only one
क्या बात.
striker, and Nkunku has not even
हाँ, he's
played
been
five
injured.
games till
Yeah,
now.
he's been injured. Yeah,
He's been
Nkunku has
injured.
been injured.
And people who blame Poch, like I'm not, pro Poch or negative, but I'm just saying that Poch made his whole team around Nkunku in
Hmm.
preseason. Like I told you this, that preseason Chelsea looked amazing. Like I thought
Correct.
top four is guaranteed because we were defeating everyone who came in our way. But then Nkunku got injured, and suddenly there was a thing that who will play on top. Then Nicholas
Correct.
Jackson was the only option, and there's no link up play. Like yesterday, you could see Cole Palmer was losing his mind. Every pass he made, nobody was there at the end of it. And it's very disappointing to see that, and there's no strength of the bench. We have our, our gym boy, Mudrik coming off,
Mudrik.
for a nice 20-minute cardio. He
उसका
comes on.
लास्ट उसका एक दोनों सेट पीस उसका बिग बकवास था.
Yeah.
स्टॉपेज टाइम में वो क्यों फ्री किक मार रहा है भाई.
बिकॉज वो पहले भाग के वही पहुंचा ना उधर, इसलिए उसको वो मिला भी. इट वाज अ रनिंग रेस एंड ही ऑलवेज विंस रनिंग रेसेस, सो वो पहुंच के उसने ले लिया. बट उसके अलावा और कोई बेंच पे है ही नहीं यार, कोई टैलेंट ऐसा कोई एक्साइटिंग प्लेयर नहीं है जो बेंच से आके गेम चेंज करेगा. सो दैट इज द सैड रियलिटी. इवन इफ एवरीबॉडी वाज फिट, it would not be still as good as what people are expecting. Like,
या
if you want to imagine, just before the game yesterday, somebody made a 23-24 video of Chelsea highlights saying that this is the new era. And like, we did nothing this year. हम लोग लीग कप फाइनल हारा to a Liverpool team which had 9 kids playing and
या
2 senior players. And people are saying, oh, those kids, we also had kids, our age was younger. But their kids are for free from their academy. We about 100 million kids. दैट इज 100 मिलियन का बच्चा इज नॉट अ बच्चा, वो वर्ल्ड क्लास प्लेयर होना चाहिए. एंड देन इफ यू से
ट्रू
उसको टाइम लगे तो क्यों भरा 100 मिलियन यार? कौन बोला 100 मिलियन भरने के लिए? तुम
ट्रू.
जाके पागल जैसा मार्केट में जाके खरीदे. एंड Mudrik also, Arsenal actually screwed us because Arsenal went and bid
या
90
या
and they knew we will bid more. We bid more and we got him. Saicedo was actually valued at 70 million.
या
70 million पे bidding शुरू हुआ. And then Brighton, I'm sure they are a club who can do this. They wrote a fake article which said that Liverpool are coming with a 110 million bid, and Chelsea bought the article and paid 115. I'm sure Liverpool would not bid 110. Dude,
या
Liverpool have not
या
bid that much for any player till now.
या या
So why would they bid that much? And then in a game like yesterday, where you had the midfield was tired as hell, and our midfielders didn't know what to do.
हम्म.
Like Enzo, Rodri was literally pocketing Enzo,
या
despite Rodri being tired, and Saicedo was just lost as usual. He didn't know
Yeah, he was
what to
very
do.
lost. Like he was, disjointed. Taking the ball forward. Suddenly, he found himself in open space. He didn't know what to do.
Yeah,
Very definitely not a 100 million player for sure. At least by
yeah.
this performance.
Yeah, and overall in the season, he has a problem that he's not an attacking midfielder. If you're a defensive midfielder, he never follows his player. We have conceded 3 to 4 goals because वो प्लेयर मार्क ही नहीं कर रहा है. वो राइट से क्रॉस आ रहा है, सेंटर में अकेला प्लेयर फ्री भाग के गोल मार रहा है. क्यों? क्योंकि भाई साहब पीछे खड़े हैं अपना. So I don't understand that what is the point of a defensive midfielder who can't defend. He can tackle. Okay, he can tackle. He's young. He'll become better. But we are not a club which is made for this. This is why people go to small clubs and play so that they can play for big clubs. Like the worst insult this year, I've seen
Correct.
that Cole Palmer did a right decision to go to a small club so that he can play and go to a big club. And it's a true fact. He's doing that. Tomorrow when he
Yeah,
goes to Madrid or somewhere, he'll count Chelsea as a training ground only, where he learnt his trick and now he's
hundred
playing
percent,
there. But this
hundred
used
percent.
to
Yeah,
not be
for
our club. We used to not be this club.
like a stepping stone. You mean,
Yeah, yeah, stepping stone clubs. Like, like how Fiorentina was considered a stepping stone club in Italy at one point.
Yeah,
Like, or
yeah.
even Salah went to Fiorentina and then went to Roma because it was always like they got the best talent, and then once you see that they're good enough for the league, you buy them to a bigger club. So
Yeah.
that way. So it's sad that we have become that, and like from where we were to where we are.
I think we've lost Vinay and the connection.
Okay. One second.
Yeah, I think before until he comes back, quite a disappointing performance. And like with Cole Palmer also, Cole Palmer was the uh, Cole Palmer has been the sole bright spot for Chelsea. His goals and assists. Yeah, no, Banda has been carrying Chelsea. We lost him for a bit.
Yeah, now can you see me?
So yeah, so I was just saying how Cole Palmer has been the only bright spot for you all this year, like
Yeah,
single-handedly, carrying Chelsea Football Club.
yeah. He should have had at least 15 more assists if he had a decent striker ahead.
So that is
Because
my next question. Why don't you retain Tam? Like, why did you retain Tammy Abraham? Like
because
Tammy,
he was good on the books now. If you sell a homegrown player for
go ahead.
45, 50 million, whatever we sold him for, it's a good profit to show, and that's how Todd Bowley and all function. They want to see that which player gives you maximum profit. Like in this summer, Conor Gallagher will be sold despite him genuinely running around. Like a small example from yesterday's game, Gallagher, people call him like, he has no real talent, he can't finish, he can't score. Yesterday, when Chelsea were pressing, he pressed Kyle Walker, won the ball from Kyle Walker, cut past Rodri, and put a through ball to Jackson, which Jackson absolutely missed. Now, if that
Mhm.
goes for a goal, that is a assist to Gallagher and it shows his workmanship because there was no situation. He created something out of nothing. But because that doesn't go in the back of the net, it looks like, okay, what does he do? What does he contribute? And he
वो तो
can play multiple positions. So,
करेक्ट करेक्ट नहीं वो तो आजकल के ये स्टैट मर्चेंट्स और एक्सजी मर्चेंट समझ ही नहीं पाते हैं यू नीड टू वॉच द गेम and
oh, yeah.
analyze it thoroughly. It's just not based on numbers per se. You need to
Yeah,
actually watch a game of football to
true.
figure out which player is doing what. And he has been impressive, Conor Gallagher. At least the effort is always there. And
Yeah,
that brings me to the next question. Like, where do you think Pochettino is going to go from here? I mean, is he going to be staying at the club? Do
yeah.
foresee him in Chelsea next year? And does he get money to, or rather, does he get players that he wants to build a team that wants to
He
play the
should.
Poch way?
So, in the January transfer window, he had asked for two players. One was a striker, one was a midfielder. Okay. And we didn't buy a striker. We gave a striker away for some reason. And
Uh,
we got Cassidy back from Leicester, who's a very
Correct.
impressive talent.
Yeah,
And
he's
he's
highly
bought
rated
in
talent.
highly, and he was bought in because if, say, Saicedo or Enzo or Gallagher gets injured, you have a backup who comes and plays that position very well.
Mm,
Luckily, they've all been fit, so he is not required as such. But that striker was required. You needed a striker who comes in. And, like, can you imagine, like, good strikers who are 26, 27 are rejected by the club because they're too old for the club. Like, what rubbish, here? How can you take, and that is their prime years, like 26,
yeah,
27 is the
yeah,
right time for a striker because you get 4, 5 good years, the best years of a striker you get. So,
correct.
but they want somebody who's 22, 23, who see the idea of Todd Bowles. That's one thing people don't understand. These players are not bought with the potential, they are bought with the idea to sell at a higher price. They are because see
Moneyball, na?
tomorrow
जो Moneyball कर
Moneyball.
रहे हैं.
It's Moneyball. It's Moneyball. And the only thing where they got it wrong is they believed that with the inflated prices of football players today, as we see, they thought that 100 million is cheap. But now, if you see, January had zero big transfers
Yeah,
because the money is drying up overall because you can't spend 100 200 million every and you don't need like today you see Liverpool, they'll sell Salah, then they'll buy 1 2 players and they're set. The other team is already there, so you
yeah,
don't have to recreate a team every year. Even somebody like Aston Villa have like 8 to 9 starters fixed for next year. They just maybe need to
correct.
add 1 2 players and that they'll add with 40 50 million or whatever they get they'll add. We went to change the whole squad. We saw somebody like Koulibaly who was brilliant in Serie A, who was struggling because he came to the Premier League first year. It takes time. Sold him
Yeah,
to Saudi because we cracked a deal with the Saudi clubs. Sold Conte, sold everyone. Okay, you sell, but who are you buying to replace? You're not buying anyone who's already, matured enough to play. Like you look at Real Madrid's midfield, they have the best midfield in the world in terms
mm,
of depth also. And look at our midfield. Like I don't think any of our players will even make their first 11, despite what
no
all the
chance.
Delululu fans are talking about. But like someone like Enzo Fernandez was absolutely lost yesterday. He
Yeah,
had like
yeah.
he had lesser touches than the goalkeeper Ortega. Can you imagine a midfielder having lesser touches than a goalkeeper? Because
And that
and
too playing
he
as a number six, number eight, that kind of a
number
role.
eight, yeah, and he actually had a chance to make a mark for himself yesterday, but he just couldn't. He's brilliant against championship teams. Huh? You bring any championship team, Enzo is the best player. Maybe that is where quality is matched. But you see, if you see his stats, he has scored I think, 3 goals this year. All two of them are against championship teams in the League Cup or FA Cup,
Mm.
and one solitary goal in the league. So that just showcases. And my idea is coming back to if you don't have goals, if you don't have assists, and you're not defensively good, then what sort of a midfielder are you? Like, how do I categorize you as a midfielder if you can't do all three?
True, true, true.
So
I mean,
it's a
I mean,
full
मेरे हिसाब से
lost
तो
cause.
there was no need to even sell Pulisic and Loftus-Cheek to Milan, and both
Yeah,
of them have been fit. They've been fit throughout the year, and they've been
yeah,
delivering to. I mean, they've been delivering for Milan. So
yeah,
कोई जरूरत ही नहीं था बेचने के लिए यार. And Pulisic ऐसा player है जो difference maker है, better than Mudryk. I mean, Arsenal got
yeah.
a better deal. They got Trossard. Trossard is,
Super player.
established in the Premier League. He's played
Yeah,
in the league. He knows. लिवरपूल गॉट अ बेटर डील यार. एंडो क्या प्लेयर है, इतना सेरिब्रल
and
प्लेयर, इतना दिमाग का प्लेयर. एंड
yeah,
वो सही रिप्लेसमेंट है. Like, I don't think so even Caicedo would have been as good as Endo this year short term
yeah.
for Liverpool. So
And one
like
tenth of
literally
the
I mean,
cost.
one
Literally
tenth of the
one tenth
price.
of the. That is the best part.
Enzo
1/10 of the cost.
Enzo Fernandez was overrated due to his decent World Cup performance he got है. वो तो होता ही है वर्ल्ड कप में, अगर परफॉर्म करो हाइप
Yeah,
होता है. But
yeah.
कैसा है कि you build a midfield around. It's not just one midfielder, right? You need
True.
a supporting cast also around him.
Yeah, and if you see Enzo and Caicedo 2 years back, Caicedo was worth £2 million when Brighton bought him, and
Mm.
Enzo was worth I think say 20-25. Okay,
Right.
and you are saying in 2 years their valuation has rocketed, and there's this law of median averages, law of averages, which says anything which gets inflated will come back to a mean. Now that is very clear that their values are dropping. It will drop for the next few years before they reach a point where now you can say they're fair value. So and Enzo was not a starter also in the Argentinian team. Okay, so people
Obviously,
who are
I mean,
watching the World Cup, if you watch the World Cup, he played off the bench almost all half the games.
Leandro
And
Daniel Paredes was the starter.
yeah, yeah, and he used to, and his best quality for Argentina is his wonder goals, which he scores from outside, which he has forgotten at Chelsea. मतलब बंदा तड़पता है बॉल बॉक्स के बाहर आता है तो उसको पता नहीं क्या करना है. मतलब आई डोंट अंडरस्टैंड. आगे निकलेस जैक्सन है उसको देके फायदा नहीं. तू मारना है शॉट जितना मारना है मार. गोल एक भी जाएगा चलेगा बट तू मारता ही नहीं है. एंड आई हैव सीन दिस इन मेनी प्लेयर्स. चेल्सी आता है ना क्या वो जर्सी पहनते हैं उनको डर लगता है कभी गोल मारने के लिए. दे जस्ट लूज कॉन्फिडेंस यार.
यार वो इरा ऑफ प्रीमियर लीग चला ही गया जहाँ पे लोग ऐसा लॉन्ग रेंज बजूका मारते थे. अभी ये पेप के कारण, ये पेप का भी बिल्डअप देखना मेरे को. वो ग्रीलिश से इतना इरिटेशन होता है. वो जाता है,
Yeah,
नाचता है, लेफ्ट में वापस पीछे पास करता है. टेक ऑन योर
वही
मैन, हिट अ शॉट
वही.
मैन. लाइक एंड इवन Rodri should hit more, long range shots.
Yeah,
It's just
yeah.
that that I'm missing that Premier League football, that era of Premier League football, where every
Yeah,
like वो goal of the month, there were like four long range goals minimum.
I know,
And that too from
I
all
know,
teams. ऐसा नहीं कि top teams only. Even the bottom teams, you had players who
I
could
know.
score the shots. But but
Remember
overall,
players
yeah, I
like
mean, I think
Tugai and Pedersen, Ruth Pedersen याद है क्या शॉट्स
I
था यार एक
swear,
क्रेजी था.
I swear, I swear.
That
I
was a
Michael
different thing.
Zakaria, Rodri hits
Yeah.
some long range. Yeah, he does. But I'm saying it's not as good. I mean, not enough. I think he can still try to shoot some more and attempt some more long range hits. But I'm sure Guardiola मारता रहेगा इनको वाला ये क्यों मारा तो साले build up करना
Yeah,
टिकी टाका.
I know.
And
Yeah, we saw na yesterday that when they passed ahead instead of retaining the ball, he absolutely lost it. Dude. He went
correct, correct,
berserk. Like it was
correct.
crazy. Like I can imagine if he manages Chelsea in a week, he'll have an heart attack, dude. Looking at what he won't be able
I
to survive a
swear.
week at Chelsea.
I swear, I swear. Thanks, Michael, for
Seriously.
subbing. Hope you can also get your friends also to sub to the channel. We'll be talking
Mm.
about football, cricket, and other sports also. फॉर्मूला वन में भी
yeah.
अभी फर्नांडो अलोंसो इज P3. So whoever calls him
Wow.
an old geezer, सबको मैं मारूंगा साले. अब हमारा मिलेनियल representation है फर्नांडो अलोंसो. बट कमिंग
Yeah.
बैक टू द गेम, वो लास्ट में क्या कंट्रोवर्सी था? मैं ट्विटर पे देख रहा था कि मादुeke was laughing with Grealish and Thiago Silva was crying.
Yeah, yeah. It was a very sad, and it's actually I'm happy it got captured because like Thiago Silva was crying because it was his last trophy, and he's probably leaving
Yeah.
Chelsea at the end of the season, and he's probably going back to Brazil, like to his childhood club. But the fact that Grealish and Madueke were laughing while he was crying just showcases everything about this squad. Yeah, the toxicity of these youngsters is too much to take, and I honestly feel that these people need a kick, on their back so that they realize what they're playing for. Like, he bloody cries when he doesn't get a penalty. साले को penalty मारने का इतना obsession है ना, क्योंकि वही उसका दो ही है, penalty या long range, और कुछ आता नहीं है बंदे को. ये दो चीज आई एम टेलिंग यू, I'll be the happiest when they sell him. चाहे वो बड़ा कितना भी बड़ा प्लेयर बने ना, he is not worth keeping in your club because उसका एटीट्यूड इतना खराब है ना, एंड वो एटीट्यूड से वो कुछ मतलब इट्स नॉट गोना हेल्प द क्लब एट ऑल. Like, and
Yeah.
if you remember, like there was an incident where Drogba Balak also had a fight on a penalty. So,
Mm.
people who are blaming the youngsters, yeah, that happened. But if you see after the match, because that time I think Ancelotti was in charge, and the
Mm.
designated penalty taker was Balak and Drogba if Balak is not there. So there was a situation where I think Balak was going to get substituted, but he didn't because there was a penalty. So there was a controversy who will take the penalty now. And Drogba wanted because he's like, I'm there, I'll take it. But Balak said, no, it's mine. And they both fought on the field. But the moment the whistle was blown, they hugged and they were okay. And then that never happened again. Because Ancelotti drew the line that, this is how it is. But in today's time, players, because see, they all want stats, right? The fans and the players are the same. They all play FIFA. They want those, XGs. They want those penalties, the assists, the goals. So they want to get as many chances to score. They don't care the team winning. They just want their stats to improve, their value to improve. So it's seen in the game. Like the game today to what it was back in the day. It's not as much fun to watch today because it's all
Yeah.
how we used to call it solo players. Solo goatees who would just
सोलो
go
कोटी
out
कर
there
रहा है,
and
सोलो
play.
कोटी कर रहा है.
अपने को कितना like, अपने इसमें अगर कोई पास नहीं करेगा उसको जो मारते थे पब्लिक जो उसकी
दो
लेते
मारते
थे,
थे ना.
क्योंकि that was the only rule that you will if there is a chance to pass you pass. So even in that in the famous goal movie scene, where he tells him that the ball is always faster than you so you pass. So
Yeah.
वो
वो तो है.
वो that was the ethic which is not there anymore. You see, Sterling has legit lost us 6 points because he didn't pass the ball. He
हाँ.
went 2-on-1 and he went for goal. So it just shows that that it's
What has
just
happened
yeah,
to him, man? What has really happened to him? Raheem
he's just
Sterling.
lost. Yeah, he's just lost actually. If you see,
I
he has bits and parts, but otherwise he's quite lost.
जेनेट्रॉन बोला जैक्सन इज वॉश्ड. आई जैक्सन तो अभी बच्चा है, मतलब वो अभी भी उसको है. बट रहीम स्टर्लिंग इज वॉश्ड, लाइक ही इज फिनिश्ड. आई मीन
Yeah.
ये फॉर्म में तो उसको इंग्लैंड कॉल भी मिलना नहीं चाहिए, टू बी वेरी ऑनेस्ट, फॉर द
नहीं
यूरोज.
उसको नहीं मिलेगा. He's anyways last few times he didn't get a call up and I don't think he will get a call up. And that position is anyways there's so much competition for England that even
करेक्ट.
Rashford is fighting for it. So I don't think Sterling is in the run also for it to be very honest. And I think he'll go to Saudi after this year or US MLS or something because I don't think any
करेक्ट.
Premier League club will buy, or maybe Everton might buy him. Everton likes such players, English wing backs and English
इंग्लिश में.
wingers.
इवन स्पीकिंग ऑफ इवन चिलवेल, यार चिलवेल को क्या हो गया सडनली?
Chilwell has not been fit all year. Actually, I won't blame him because he's genuinely not been fit and he's been in and out of the team. So I won't let him have a one proper season, and I think he's still our best left back. So people who are complaining that Masson was given on loan, because Chilwell, but I still feel Chilwell is world class, but he needs to be fit. The problem is, see, he came back from fitness last week and he was straight away put because we don't have like Kukurea was decent, but in an attacking way, Chilwell is better. So, you always need Chilwell, and he could have
मेरे
created
को
a
तो
chance, but yeah,
like I would have given Chilwell that free kick in the stop in in stoppage time
yeah.
to whip one
Chilwell,
cross in
Palmer,
instead of Mudrik.
yeah,
और अब
yeah.
पामर भी है यार. मुद्रिक को क्यों दिया मेरे को नहीं समझा यार.
But
चलो विल
again,
टेक.
that's what, yeah.
we'll take a last few questions before we get out of here.
Okay.
अगर किसी जो anyone has got any further questions can comment on the chat. Under Todd Bowley, Chelsea will be Man United under Glazers. I think Man United still are in a better place. Like of
Yeah.
course, like the Glazers, I know it's a very controversial thing, but at least they've had some direction in terms of getting the
Yeah.
players, getting even some success, especially under Mourinho. And the
Yeah.
Mourinho, so they did win trophies. But
Yeah.
उसके बाद में कुछ हुआ नहीं है and I think Chelsea have suddenly dropped down like from a top team they've like
Yeah.
gone to mid table. That is Man United are still in the top half, you can say,
Yeah.
there
So
or
United
thereabouts.
are
So
on the other side of, like, when Chelsea likes to buy young players, they are willing to buy the oldest players. So
and at
they are
very high
willing to pay
costs.
premiums for them. So like Amrabat or Casemiro, like 70
Casemiro,
million for a
Amrabat loan पे
Casemiro loan pay. Okay. But Casemiro 70 million was ridiculous, man.
ridiculous,
Absolutely
ridiculous.
ridiculous. With I think he's on 350,000 pounds a week or something like that. That is crazy money.
क्या अमीरी है
That
प्रीमियर लीग में सेरिया में क्या गरीबी है देख.
yeah, इसलिए तो सब इधर ही खेलते हैं, प्रीमियर लीग खेलते हैं. That just shows what kind of money. Like today, Luton Town and all, also with the first season in the Premier League, are able to buy like Barkley and all. So it just shows that like they have like that is the kind of ad revenue that you get in the Premier League, yeah,
I know,
which you don't
I
get
know.
in
I
other leagues.
I remember when Bournemouth were bidding for Zaniolo. Bournemouth,
Yeah,
Galatasaray and Milan. That's like that was the anyway.
yeah,
So I think आज के second semi-final में तो Coventry, although we love and a fairy tale FA Cup run, it looks
yeah,
very unlikely that they're going to beat Man United because Man United, Man City, Manchester derby in the final once
yeah.
again.
I really wanted to see Chelsea United final because after the game we had at the Bridge, it
वो
would have
must
been
game
an
था.
epic final,
Epic
epic
final था.
final.
End to
But
end रहता था एकदम.
end to end. Sadly, both teams who don't know defending, so it would have been a lot of fun to watch. But
For
I
neutrals,
think,
so definitely.
yeah, City will win it. I think now it is like it's in their hands. Whoever United or Coventry, I think City will at least do the double with the Premier League and FA Cup. And in City terms, it's still a bad season. Can you imagine just winning a
I know.
double
Winning a
because they
double,
didn't,
yeah. I know.
yeah,
I know. I
because
know.
getting on time. That is the standards they've built. So
True,
that
true, true.
takes
That is the
time.
standard. That is
Yeah.
the standards. Chalo, in long
Yes.
term, Chelsea bowling impact will be like Glazers, Chelsea like yeah, obviously because some youngsters को sign किया तो वो experience तो आने नहीं वाला है. And Premier League teams are extremely competitive these days. You look at the likes of Villa, look at
Yeah.
Newcastle now funded by the Saudis, and
Yeah.
who else? I mean, your generally your top 5, 6 are always there. तो वो
Yeah.
top
And
10 ही इतना competitive है तो फिर दिक्कत तो आने
true.
वाला है यार.
And I feel we could have signed Douglas Lewis for 15 million from Villa. Can you imagine?
Hmm.
We could have signed Anthony Gordon for 40 million. People are saying overpriced. Today, Anthony Gordon is legit looking like a good player. Like he finishes, he has a dribbling, and he's English, so he adds to that homegrown player list. So you can buy more players from abroad. He would have been perfect, but again, we went for Mudryk and the others. So it's crazy,
Sad, sad. So,
sad.
chalo, last
Yeah.
your final thoughts. What do you think? How do you think Chelsea are going to close out the season, and will Pochettino remain at the club?
I think Poch deserves another year. I don't blame him because we did have injuries. So, like I feel one more year is justified. And if he can't reach Europe in next year, then it's time for a new manager. But I think one more year because these players have played under him, so I think he can improve them a bit at least. And with a fully fit squad, I think we can hit at least Europa League next year. And for the season it's over, so I think we'll come somewhere eighth or ninth only. So we will not, I think, and I hope we don't get Europe this year because at least we can focus on the league and do better things next year.
ऐसा मत
So
बोला.
let's,
Conference League is a super competition. Very difficult to win
yeah,
it.
yeah,
Chelsea could have
and very
also bought
difficult to, yeah.
Harvey Barnes. I don't think so. Harvey Barnes would have wanted to move to Chelsea, man.
Yeah, no, but Harvey Barnes, when he plays, he's something else. He's like a
Something
English
else.
Neymar. He goes crazy. So, but I know, and it's tough to win the Conference League without, or Europa League without, buying Anthony Taylor also. So, that is something you know well.
It is tough. It is tough.
Yeah,
I think
it is tough.
PTS भी देता है Europa League final.
Yeah,
But
I get it. Anthony
anyways,
Taylor
I
has
think
screwed Chelsea many times, so it's okay.
yeah, exactly. But he will not referee. Being an English team, he can't referee in Europe. So you guys are
And
saved from Anthony Taylor in
thank
Europe.
God,
We are not.
thank God.
Anyway, I think that brings the end to this live stream. Thank you for everybody who's tuned in, and
Yes,
Rohit for continuously commenting and keeping the live stream going. अपन
yes,
और ऐसा करेंगे. We'll talk about English football. We'll talk about Spanish football. We'll talk about German football. All the
yeah,
European competitions, Champions League, Europa League, and of course Serie A. तो लाइक शेयर सब्सक्राइब करना यार एंड अपने
yes,
फुटबॉल ग्रुप्स में जहाँ पे आप व्हाट्सएप ग्रुप्स में खेलते हो ये चैनल का लिंक जरूर देना सबको बोलना सब्सक्राइब करने के लिए दिस इज मी
yes.
अजय मेनन साइनिंग ऑफ दैट इज विनय मेनन साइनिंग ऑफ
Thank you,
थैंक्स रोहित
thank,
थैंक यू सो मच फॉर ट्यूनिंग
thank
इन
you,
गाइस विल बी बैक
thank
अगेन
you,
सून
guys.
ciao
Yes,
ciao
thank you. Bye, bye. Thank you.